on. Yeah. Very good. Done. So good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everybody. My name is Epaminondas, and I'm with Angelo, Felipe, and Juliana to talk about life challenge. So if you want to learn English, please come with us to talk and to enjoy ourselves talking in English. So guys, let me know about you. Angelo, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, of course. My name is Angelo Silva. I am 37 years old. I'm married. I have a children, a daughter specifically. I live in Portugal, Lisbon, but I came from Guarulhos, São Paulo, Brazil. And I like running sometimes because it's good for your mental health, for your body, or something like that. Your decompression your day. And I like read a lot because you understand something like that about another point of view. It's more interesting. Read is not about oh, read a book. Not it's not about. It's about understand more about life, about anything you need. And I have some projects in Brazil nowadays, like coach people's in technology area because it's difficult to wait for people, beginning people. I have channel in YouTube. I have courses in Udemy. I have mm, mm, one company with helping people to lab uh, some things in technology, and another company about consulting with the other companies in Brazil, specifically São Paulo. And I work here in Lisbon with Technology Area 2 in a big company around the road. And I enjoy Lisbon. It's good live here. It's different from Brazil. It's completely different. I have impacted to myself because I work in the middle of night in the street with my dogs and call with a smartphone and not have problem with people hate me or something like that, like Brazil. And that's it, guys. That's it. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for sharing your life. So very good. Let me know about you, Juliana. Your turn. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Juliana, but my friends called me Julie. I live in Belo Horizonte. I'm a lawyer in data protection, and I'm a journalist too. I like to study English. At the moment, it's my priority, but I like to learn German too. And I'm not so athletic, but I like to do exercise. And sometimes I go to a park near my house. And I think that's all.
Very good. Thank you. And I'm proud of you about exercise. Very good. The exercise is the best thing in our life for our body and mind and everything. And you, Felipe, your turn, please.
Of course. Good morning, guys. I'm Felipe. I'm 40 years old. I'm from São Paulo, but I'm married with Manuela. She's from Pernambuco. She make a cake from Pernambuco, bolo de rolo. It's your small business. I'm content designer, but then nowadays I'm unemployed. I'm looking for a new opportunity. I love ride my bicycle, go out with my wife and my son. I have a son, Francisco. He's 4 years old. I am a Corinthians supporter. I love music as well. A lot of types of music, for example, punk rock, trap, samba, a lot. I'm a little bit eclectic. And that's it.
Yeah, I see. Very good. Very good. Good morning, Gabriel, our fireman. How's it going?
Hello, man. Good morning. I'm fine, thanks. Sorry, my late. I'm working.
No problem. It's okay. And please introduce yourself for us.
Oh, okay. Hello, guys. Good morning. I'm Gabriel Quirino. I live in a small town countryside, south of Santa Catarina. I'm 26 years old. I'm getting older today. Today my birthday. Yeah, thanks, man.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I work as a firefighter. No, in my day off, I use it to work as a machine operator, hydraulic machine operator, and a sand narration. A business of my father. I graduate in human resource. I'm married. I have no kids, and that's it. It's a pleasure to be here again, Papinonas. How long has it been?
Very good. Very good. Welcome again. Sheila, good morning. How's it going?
Morning. Well, I'm Sheila. I'm here from São Caetano do Sul. I live here with my husband, my daughter, and I'm here on TNT since last year, June, I think. And that's it. How are you doing, guys? It's a pleasure to be here.
Very good. I'm very good. Everything good for here. It's a pleasure for me as well. And guys, we have 6 people here. If one more guy or girl come with us, I will split us in 2 rooms, okay? But for now, I think it's okay. And let's start. We have some questions about life challenge. I put on the chat again for the people that come in a little bit late. So let's start for the number 1. What are some common challenges that people face when starting to learn a new language? Angelo, please.
Okay, good questions. I read some questions here, but the first is the good question for me because I study English seriously 1 years and middle approximately, and study English is very difficult because sometimes no understand uh, where you need for input your English or something like that. What way you need to do it, for example. And in my case, I start in traditional school, but for me, it's not match. People's understand different forms in English. It's very difficult to you understand English when we start, when we begin it, because people's in principle in Brazil, and sometimes it's not happy when you talk with other people. If people is forced to talk with you in English or in other language. But in Brazil, people it's funny, but it's not funny. It's bad situations for beginner people, and sometimes I take it another way for me. For example, listening more and read more in English. And I take the course about AJ Hood, the British teacher, and talk about the effortless English when you need to listen and more and read more for input more information about the English, and your subconscious change your mind, and now you understand more the languages. But I understand too, I need the grammar, and I need to go to traditional school here in Portugal, Cambridge School, for take grammar, understand more about my level, because I pretend in future take the certification in English, because I need for work, for example, in the United States, Australia, and other place for have more money, for example. And but for me is combination of some situations: traditional school, grammar, read, listening, and the principal talk a lot of time. If you're not comfortable with your English now, probably in the future is not comfortable with your English. It's good you're satisfied now with your English because that you grew up in language. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And here in Brazil, it's very common to make fun about the English of other people. So it's very hard because normally we are not so confident about our English and things like that. And normally the people that know we are learning and make fun about us. So it's hard. It's very hard, especially for beginners. So, but it's a little bit cultural. Normally when the people make fun doesn't speak English, or it's crazy. It's a little crazy, this kind of situation.
Another country, I not see this some situations like Brazil, for example. I work in a Europe company, and I talk with other people in German in another country, and people understand your situation because these people is the same situation for you. You know, is study English for working in the technology area. For example, technology area is completely traditional but not traditional situations because all the time people talk in English. You know, it's very difficult to, oh, okay, I talk with the German people and I talk in German. It's more difficult, right? It's not like if Juliana starting in English, German is very difficult.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you. Let me know about you, Sheila. What do you think about this question? The big challenge.
It's a big challenge. It's uncomfortable, of course, for all. And I agree. I totally agree with you guys because here, unfortunately, we have uh, the this way of make jokes with all, and we have friends abroad, and they wanted simply understand you simply. It's just their own way to do it, I think. Another factors, I think, it's about fear of unknown. I think it's happens with all of us. Shame, it's normal to all of us too. We don't make mistakes. It's not fair because we make mistakes, of course. It's a part of the process. If you don't make mistakes, you don't trying. I think we have to enjoy the journey, but we can't do it in most of time. It's suffering for us, and it's don't be a way of suffering. I think that's it.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, I totally agree with you, totally. And if you don't make mistake, we are not learning because it's normal in the process. We are learning, and we will make a lot of mistakes. So it's hard to change this mindset, but it's totally necessary. Felipe, how about you? What do you think?
I agree with Angelo and Sheila, but sorry, I'm a little bit sick. But for example, in Brazil, I think a big challenge is economics factors. You know, the most of people needed to I don't know, to need a job, needed food, a little things, and after they need to think about it, learn another language. For example, in my speak is not good, but Uh, all the people here learning. For my example, I have a little bit shame on my pronunciation, but I'm learning. I think that's it. This point is very important, a big challenge. But for me, the first challenge is social, economic. Yeah, in Brazil, I think that's it.
Thank you. I totally got your point, and I totally agree with you because we have big problems, deep problems, and normally in general, it's not the priority to learn other language because we have other problems to pay attention, right? So I totally got your point, and
Well,
I
in
totally agree
Brazil, I
with you.
think sorry, I cut you. In Brazil, I think is 4% of Brazilians are fluent. I think is, I don't know the number
Yeah,
exactly.
more or less.
10, I don't know. It's a minimum.
Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard. And you are the right place to learn English and to speak well and things like that. Don't worry about. Juliana, and you, what do you think about this question, the challenge for the new language?
Yeah, I totally agree with my colleagues. Um, for me, the challenge, it's a pressure. It's a pressure. Oh, I need to learn English now. It's not tomorrow, it's now. And I think it's the pressure. It's not good, but I'm doing the necessary and the possible for my life, for my for learning the language.
Yeah, good. I think you brought a good point. The possible, the possible effort, because everybody has your own time, your own situation. So it's important to understand this kind of thing because it's important to do what is possible for you, and this is the key. And don't worry about the time, and don't hurry up about this kind of thing. It's normal. It's a process. Very good. Very good.
I want to see one thing. When Juliana said, "I have to do it," I feel you, Juliana, because I have to make a test, a proficiency test. I have a little time to do it, and I made this test and I failed in speaking and production. I passed it. I got it in literacy comprehension and overall grade. But it's so hard because I like so much of English. I love English, but when you have to do something for obligation, it's so hard. And a few times it's so hard more, and it's so difficult. I feel you, Juliana, totally.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's hard. Gabriel, your turn.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with my colleagues. And I was trying to remember a famous phrase of a famous writer talking about mistakes in English. Anyway, and I'm not in all language. And if I'm not mistaken, I tried to research, but I can't find. But it's more or less, if you don't make 200 mistakes a day, probably you aren't talking enough. A little bit more or less. And I agree with the phrase. And I think talking about the person that started in like beginner student, I think there's a problem like the person fight, the people fight with themselves, like the people when start studying English or another language in general, uh, want to become fluent so fast. It's a good problem. It's a good problem because like nowadays there are a lot of course in English, online course, and talking, oh, you can reach our fluence in 3 months. It's a liar. In my point of view, I think it doesn't exist. But and this person unfortunately believe in this course and maybe has a frustration. I think I don't know if this word exists, and sometimes stop to study, and I think it's a problem as well in my mind.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more because we have a lot of noise, especially on the internet, and a lot of different teachers and teaching different methods, and it's crazy because we have a lot of noise. We have unreal expectations because of that. As you said, oh, you learn English, you will learn English in 3 months. So it's hard. It's not real in the most case. So we start learning English and thinking, oh, in the middle of this year I will be fluent, or so it's hard to face the real situation. So it's not easy, it's hard. It's important to pay attention and to make a big effort. So, but it's okay. But I totally agree with you. We have a lot of liars, especially on the internet, about this kind of topic. Guys, we talked about financial problem. So the number 2 is a little bit about this kind of thing, about challenge in your life. How do you handle financial challenge that arise unexpectedly in life? We are think that you are not waiting for this, but it happened, and how do you handle with this? And Felipe, please, you're first.
I don't have a problem as I'm very rich. I'm kidding. uh, for me, for example, I'm married. I need to talk about it with my wife. I think I have a child. It's very complicated. For example, I'm living in São Paulo. It's very expensive, and now I'm unemployed. I the most the first you need to have a reserve. I don't know in Portuguese, in English, reserva. Money reserva. You need to reserve a little money to for example, you need to go to a doctor, for example, but dentista. I don't know in English name. So save money. You need to save money for a specific cause. But big challenges, I need to save money, and I don't know. I need sometimes to my families save me in specific cases. I don't know. I depends of each people, the context. For example, I'm living in São Paulo. A lot of things is very expensive. And for example, I think to move to Pernambuco because there is cheaper than here. And I work nowadays. I'm unemployed, but my next work, I think my next job probably is home office, do you know? And if I work home office and earn money in São Paulo money and living in Pernambuco, I think I will living more sustainable.
Yeah, it's hard. Some place on the Brazil is very expensive to live. Very expensive. In Brazil is very expensive as well, so it's hard. Angelo, how about you? How do you face this kind of challenge?
It's interesting topic is because financial is not most propagated in Brazil, but not when I in my neighborhood, for example, when I grew up, it's very difficult. People talk about financials. Financials I know because my mother and sometimes, oh, you need to save money for doing something like that you need in the future as well. But it's not exactly how important it is save money. And but I have some problems with other people, like other people has all the time. And I own some companies. It's a problem because like dever as Casas Bahia, it's real for me in last years old and in few years old. And then I take a challenge in my life, like Juliana said, Sheila said. I go to the financial class in Sebrae. Nowadays, I have two companies, and I understand more about financial. You know, I'm a little company, but I have a lot of situations about financials, and I have some situations in my home too about financials. You receive money, but you not get out your money. It's the same situation when you receive. You needed use 70% of your money and save 10%. 10% for your your goals or something like that. 10% for your urgency, and then 10% for your enjoy anything you need, like a trip with your friends, with your family. But in sometimes people live in difficult situations, and it's not possible. You save money because you not need sufficient money for live, for example, you know, like Felipe said, you know. And for me, is this financial topic is it's probably is most important for people, you know. People is needed. And then when I was a child, you need to understand about financials. If your parents take this or deliver this knows about your children with your children, and then it's possibility when you has a adult person, it's not have a problem with financial. You know, it's not a big problem. Such problem is very common. For me, is that.
Yeah, very good. Very good answer. Thank you. Thank you, Angelo. Juliana, let me know your point of view about this question. How do you face?
Yes, I totally agree with you, Angelo. I think it's important people know about the education financial, but like he said, people don't have money enough to save. And I try to spend as little as possible, and I think it is, and maybe sometimes it's important to do more jobs to try, but I think it is it's important to do jogo de cintura, but it's hard. It's really hard. But I'm trying to spend at little money, just the the needs, these essential needs.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard, but it's important to think about and to make an effort. And sometimes it's hard because, as Angelo said, sometimes we don't have money enough to save, so it's important to have people around us to help us, and maybe family, friends, and we are doing a good thing to improve this situation, learning English. So we are learning English, and maybe we will have more opportunities, and everybody hope this kind of thing here, I'm sure about. So it's important to improve ourselves, and then have more opportunities, maybe possibilities to grow up a little bit. Sheila, and you?
First of all, sorry because my husband is in a meeting next to
No
me.
problem.
But I think I totally agree with all the points here. In this specific situation, I think sometimes we have tighten our belts, and when it's possible, we must have money supply. But as Angelo said, it's not possible all the time. When I was young, in my childhood, I remember that it's so hard because the bills are high and the money it's so strict. And my mother and my father said, "Do you know make a course?" Yeah, so work hard and pay it for it. That's it. And the things are so the bills are so expensive, and our money is how can I say, how money was few. I think that's it. And I understand that educational financial for me, it must be basic in all school, because you grow up understanding how money works, and your life it would be totally different. I think that's it.
I couldn't agree more. So if you don't have control about our money, our life is ruined. So it's very, very important to pay attention about this topic. And I take notes here about a topic for other meeting about financial education. So it's a good topic. Gabriel, let me know about you. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I agree with Sheila. We need to control save our money ourselves. In my case, to like handle this kind of thing, to avoid this kind of thing, I try work so much. And for that reason, I have 3 jobs, because now nowadays in our country, unfortunately, it's very hard to save money. And finally, the most of people earn only minimum wage. It's very hard to, how can I say, get by with a remuneration, unfortunately. And I try to work and has my my save money in my account, my bank account. Um, and I think it would be that, and try to control myself, and to avoid waste my money with a useless thing. Like nowadays, it's very easier buy some things in Mercado Libre and Shopee. It's very easy with one click. You press on one button, you buy a lot of things. And I has a phrase to me when I'm gonna see something and this kind of things, platform Shopee. Anyway, I see something and ask myself, do I need or do I want? And usually I want, so I never buy.
Yeah, I couldn't say the same because I bought a lot of things that I don't use, especially books. But books, it's good because I'm not reading now, but maybe in the future I will read. So, but I totally agree with you. It's important to pay attention. It's important to ask ourselves about this question that you talked. Very good. Very
No,
good.
I remember the millionaire Bettina, empiricals.
Yeah.
Just save 100 reals and you'll be millionaire.
Yeah.
But saving 100 millionaire is for the little people. No.
The hard part is save money, a lot of money to have 1 million. Guys, I will skip for the number 9. Number 9. It's interesting because we are talking about learning English and make fun about us and things like that. So the number 9 is a little bit connected. Many people suffer from self-doubt and lack of confidence. Have you experienced this? Have you ever experienced this? Angelo, you first.
For me, it's the same true nowadays. It's communication, because young guys, it's communication only through social media. It's a problem because when this person go to the company, to the work, it's a problem. Have a lot of addictions about the language. It's not about only in Portuguese in Brazil, but in other language. But for me, it's the most skill person needs. It's talking another language. It's good for taking anything you need, or work, your position if you need. But have a lot of difference nowadays. The technology, it's so speedy in this time, and probably it's, for me, for young guys, stop anything you doing now and think, oh, in the future, how the position, it's possibility for me work, for example. Because nowadays all the situations, all the work is including technology area. Something like that. If you drive a car, it's possibility car, autonomous car nowadays. It's a problem for you, but you're not stopping in the time. You need to go to another opportunity for you. But people need to understand more and more. Okay, young guys have a lot of situations for us. And sometimes they are mostly interage with words or something like that around the world with us, because us is completely busy all the time for working in the projects and our family in some situations. But for me, its communication is the most. Nowadays is the same situations, but in the future is most complicated for young guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because social media changed a lot our kind of life, so it's hard to handle. Sheila, how about you? About the number 9? You are a confident girl?
No, actually, no. It's my this. I think it's the most challenging thing that I face it every day. I believe that self-confidence is one of the most important things for life. If you believe in yourself, you can do anything you want, but it's so difficult because you look around, and you simply don't trust in you. And but I think it's a daily exercise. If you practice more and more, you can improve your self-confidence. Um, it's came from beginning of our lives, and each person work for a different way with this. Um, in learning language, for example, I think this happened with all you guys. You have a concept, a grammar, or a vocab, but when you will talk something, everything disappear from your mind, and it's so hard. It's a challenge for all of us. But as I said, I think it can be improved every day, and you must put this goal in your life. I do a little bit each day. I think it's the key.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for sharing. Juliana, and you?
Yeah, I agree with Sheila. I I'm I experiment this situation, and I think sometimes you need to pretend, and I say for yourself, you enough, you can do it. These questions, it's about the impostor syndrome. I think the way to do the things, like Sheila said, it's important to you train, and say for yourself, I need to do this thing, and you need to believe in yourself. I said, I know this is no easy, but you need to pretend.
Yeah. And in the theory is everything is good, but in the real life it's so hard to put in practice. So, but I totally agree with you. And there's a sentence: pretend until it be real. But I don't know if I agree about this sentence, but it's a way. Gay, bro. Please, guy, your point.
Yeah, man. I agree with my colleagues, and I think when you start a new thing, a new adventure, like a new job, I think it's almost impossible. You don't feel, how can I say, lack of confidence. In my case, I think last year, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, I can remember right now. I graduated, and can I say, I don't know this word in English, but technically mineração, mineration, anyway. Um, and to me, it's a new challenge because I've never worked like this, and now, what are you do? What will I do? I don't know. And in this case, it's very challenging to me. I needed to ask and call for friend people to me, and Facebook, and research a lot of people, a lot of information. And this case, in my I how can I say, I had this experience. Um, I think that's it to me. I don't have a lot of properties talking about this subject. Sorry.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for your answer. Juliana, would you like to add something or not? Okay, I don't think so. So, Felipe, let me know your point.
I think in capitalism, the society is very competitive. It's like a competition, Olympics. And for me, in my opinion, sometimes I has a lack of confidence because the like Juliana said, I don't know the complete word in English, but the impostor. And I know I'm I know my skills, my background. I love my background. But sometimes when I when I open the LinkedIn, for example, I see the other people, other persons. I think, oh, I need to improve more. The pressure in my mind, but after I think after no, be calm. You have abilities. Yeah, and all the people. Each person is unique, and I need to improve more and become and I don't know, need to follow the the baile, follow the baile. Need to live in the life and improve more skills and make it confident.
Yeah, yeah, you said about your situation, and I'm thinking here about comparison, because nowadays we have a lot of people to compare ourselves. We open our social media and then we see a lot of people, million of people doing things in the best way that so it's very easy to feel a little sad, or think, as you said, oh, I need to do more and more and more and more because there's someone that it's better than me. So it's hard. It's hard to think. I think that this kind of thinking about confidence, it's affected by comparison, in special about social media, because it's easier to see a lot of good results, and when you compare ourselves, in this case, maybe we feel a little bit sad because it's very easy to see good results, and then we are here trying, maybe it's not enough for us. So
For
it's hard.
example, I you see people. I read 3 books this month, but for me sometimes I don't have money, money, no, time sometimes. But sometimes I think no, you need to uh, ganhar, I,
Do
you
more
need
and more
to
and more.
you need to don't have time, but you need to, I don't know, tem que ganhar esse tempo. I don't know in English. You need to
Yeah, I got to create time to do it.
to create time. Yes, not no excuses, but sometimes relax.
Yeah, it's hard nowadays. It's so hard
But
to face this situation.
I have one point about the situations. I create time in my life. I have educations myself because that I know watch TV, I know have social media, I have LinkedIn, but because I work with them, and in sometimes I prefer stay with my family, talk with my friends, then stay in another situations in my life. It depends your priority, you know. For me, it's a focus and priority. It's not about social media. Social media, it's okay because depends on people use social media. It's not a problem, but affects some parts of the people because people's not have focus in your life. For example, you know, you have you. It's possibility to create a time for you if you need, if you has like Juliana said, oh, focus all the time in English because I need English. I need to talk in English because I need to work. I need to have some opportunities for my life. Depends your focus. Depends your mind. Depends your uh, needed. Sincerely needed. It's not oh
Taking a goal,
I
in your
guess.
future.
Yes, I get not I guess. It's completely needed. I needed to do it. You know.
I totally got your point, but at the same time, I think here, how much is enough? You know, for example, I have my priorities, but how much effort is enough for this priority? Because it's very easy to overthink about something or to pay a lot of to put a lot of effort, and then maybe I'm not paying attention about my family, for example, and this kind of thing. So to manage this time, this effort, I think it's the big challenge in this kind of situation that we are living nowadays, because I don't know in English, but the referencial, it's crazy sometimes.
You need to think more about David Goggins. It's good to think for. It's not completely crazy like Dan, but you need to understand more about David Goggins. David Goggins is the best form to take
There's a book,
focus
right?
in your life. Yeah, it's a book. It's a creator. You know, it's a running person. It's a coach person. It's all the situations around the road, like Anthony Robbins. It's good person to focus to read books. It's good for your life. Good for your comportments, your beliefs. It's good for knows about.
Yeah, good. Thank you, guys. And sorry for the time, but our time is almost running out. And I would like to be here to stay here for more time, but it's not possible. But I put here on the chat the forms. Please click on the link and let me know what you think about this immersion. And if you want to suggest something, some topic, and for other meetings, please feel free to do it. It's totally anonymous, so it's important to know what do you really think about this immersion. So it's very important. Please help me to improve this immersion, okay? And someone want to add something?
This immersion is flying. Whoa.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think was a good points, important points here, and this conversation can be continued one day. And I think it's important when the subject gave us another things of besides only English. So that was amazing for us. Thanks for
Thank
all.
you. Thank you for your feedback. And we don't answer every questions, so I can brought the number 2. I can bring the number 2 for us after. And that's it. Guys, it was a pleasure. And
Thank you.
next week,
Bye bye.
I'm here in the same time in the same day. See you. Take care.